excellent season. They're going to miss her next year with pitching. And they have a Sammy Gruis, a little youngster that can really smoke the ball. And so they got a good nucleus coming up for next year with the younger girls. They just need to find a pitcher.
And that did almost get them back to the 500 mark. I believe they were only one game under 500 this year, so they had a pretty good year.
Yeah, the little bug we call him, Nat the Bug. He does the job.
How does he dress for softball?
He doesn't dress
like
basketball.
Huh?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Not even close.
Okay.
Can't get no GQ for him on that.
NRHEG lost their opening game. They did improve from a year ago. I believe they had 6 wins this year after only 2 or 3 the year before, and they were going with an 8th grade pitcher the entire year. So I think things are climbing a little there.
Well, you get those athletes in basketball, and you just wonder why it doesn't kind of matriculate down to softball or spring sport, but they must all go off for track because there's some really good athletes there from the basketball season. Yeah.
And Waterville, who had a remarkable run a year ago, I think they won their subsection a year ago and got to the Final Four before dropping out. Won their first game, got beat in the subsection semifinals by Randolph, who they had split with during the year.
The Rockets.
But got hammered 10-0 in the...
The Rockets took off. They smoked them. It was not a pretty sight at the end.
And Waterville had a freshman pitcher, so both of those teams, and Janesville as well, if they can find a pitcher for next year, will, should see the climb continue a little bit.
The old timers out there remember men's fast pitch way a long time ago. I mean, you go to a game and you see 21 strikeouts, and that's how dominant pitching can be. And the girls put in the time and the effort. Hafe, I don't know if your daughters pitched at all. Did they ever pitch?
They were tennis, thanks to you.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
well,
that's track. Sorry.
Okay. Well, bottom line was, my daughter pitched, and you sit there and you wonder, are they ever going to catch on? They throw it, and it's in the fence, it's down on your knees, for lack of a better word. You put up with it, and all of a sudden it clicks. But you just hope it clicks in those young girls, and then when they get it down, it's fun to watch when you get a good pitcher.
And if they're serious, that's something they can really improve at, because all they need is one other player,
right?
Then they can throw year round.
And usually dad is who that person is.
Yeah, right.
Or like Bert Blyleven, he used to just throw it against the wall and try to hit a brick each time. Come back to him.
Yeah, I cracked the siding on my dad's shop
numerous
times pitching that hard rubber-sized baseball.
I couldn't throw it hard enough to do that, so it didn't make a difference.
Baseball, very disappointing in the area. All 4 area teams lost their first game of the tournament time, other than New Richmond, which won a play-in game. But all of them basically lost in the first round of the tournament. And let's look at those quick. Waseca, the defense just once again fell apart against Mankato East. They played a decent game, but lost 7-4 to the Cougars.
Put a little rally on at the end, scared some of the people from East there a little bit when they came back. But what do I say? It pitching defense, and it just didn't go.
The Jays had we broadcast that game on the radio, and the Jays had 5 errors on routine balls. I mean, I'm talking 2 hoppers that they threw over the head, or 1 hopper that they didn't field. Just routine plays. And Don White, that's his big hang-up, just make the routine plays and you'll be fine. And Waseca could not do that.
I watched the Twins last night, and they said the same exact thing. And the Twins' left side of the infield has not had an error yet this year, which is unbelievable.
Amazing.
Just make the routine plays, and then you get one that's phenomenal. Everybody talks about a Punto or somebody will pull one out. But, just feel the ball and throw it. It's not too tough.
And some of these fields that you play on now are so nice, there's really no excuses. Some of the fields probably you and I used to play on, and you look out for a cow pie or something like that.
Well, you used to play on a football field, right? Your baseball diamond was on
That's right. You always had those converted, those baseball fields into football fields.
I don't know if you're old enough, Hafe, but back in my days with the Braves, Elysian used to be in our league. And when we went over to play on Elysian on a Sunday afternoon, Warren Dunn always had us skip infield.
Right.
We'd go out there for our 10 minutes and pick up rocks and throw them off the field instead of taking infield. So you're probably a little younger than that. You don't remember that.
We did plenty of that. Shoot, I'm up there. That's Jerry Terrell territory.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jerry and Sammy. Yep. NRHEG, they did play a little better at the end of the year. Very young team.
Got to be disappointing for Jeff Reese, because that guy's been around forever, and it had to be a downer.
Yeah, like a 5-17 year for Jeff, and He's not used to that. He doesn't
at
have
all.
many of those either. JWP with Adam Bemmels
Hey.
won 3 games,
Hey.
and before we go, wow, compared to what they've done the last few years,
They won 2 games back to back in the
Yes.
conference. Yep.
Yep.
So, I mean, you just got to get some summer ball going, and it looks like they're doing
gonna
a really
do
good
that.
job over there.
Yep.
They got Legion ball coming in, and they got younger kids that some dads really want to dedicate the time. So, you'll see significant improvement.
and Chad Atherton at Waterville, he hasn't been around as long as Jeff Reese, but has very few losing years at all, and he had to suffer through a losing year. I believe they ended up like 7-10, and were shut out in their first round tournament game by GFW. So not much success in the baseball area.
And there's a lot of athletic success at Waterville this year, obviously football and basketball. So we'll see. Maybe they can turn around over there too.
Well, as Ted mentioned, let's jump into the Waseca Braves. They've played 3 games. I guess we don't know how they did last night.
I left them as 2-1.
Okay, they
And,
were 1-1 in their first 2 games. They beat the Minneapolis Cubs. They got shellacked by the Mankato Twins, who I see have rolled in a couple more
MSU athletes.
ex-MSU athletes and are just loaded. But
And Joe Kern's still pitching over
Joe
there.
Kern's
Remember
still
Joe Kern?
throwing, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, so the Braves, that's kind of something to keep us going in the summertime.
Well, they
play-
missed out on Lars when he was down
Yep.
down to North Carolina with MSU, and now he's back, and things will probably straighten out real quick.
Things were a shamble. I want you guys to know that I pick up the scorebook in Tink's mailbox after games. And
Right.
there was a full page handwritten from Tink after the game he missed against the Cubs. And evidently Mr. Loonan and Blake Nelson had the controls. And the letter said something like this: who would play the first game of the season and put it on the 8th page of a scorebook? There were no ribbies. I don't have a clue who pitched. They didn't. And even on the scorebook, he wrote in the pitching on the summary on the bottom, I do not have a clue who pitched this game. So that's going to have poor Tink's stats.
You know what he's
yeah.
going to do? He's going to throw that book away, and he's going to transfer what he did have for information to the first page where it should be, because he's so concrete sequential.
Well,
He's
and
not
I
gonna
already,
change it.
I already told Loonan, I said, you 2 guys can expect a coffee clutch, and you're going to be replaying that game and telling when each pitcher came in, and
Yep.
because these stats can't be off the whole year like this.
No.
But normally the Braves go 2 or 3 times a week, and you get about 20 chances for the summer to play them. You know,
Yeah.
get down and buy a season ticket and some good baseball in the
And
summer.
John Bendix always gets the first ticket, so here's to John. And then the Moondogs, Mankato Moondogs, and you have Tom Kelly coming in to open
Yep.
up, and they're a step above the Braves. You're looking for some minor league with the wooden bat experience, and there's another place to go. And the Moondogs, they always have entertainment, and they got that roof on the concession stand. Okay, so we got all kinds of stuff going on around here.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Twinks.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
playing pretty well, even though they've grounded into more double plays than anybody in Major League Baseball. And I see that Joe Mauer has hit into double play 12 times with the bases loaded.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Holy mackerel.
But he's hitting the ball hard, but he hits it right at, they move over the shortstop.
He
and
always
then-
hits it up the middle when the bases
Yeah.
are loaded.
And the other day, Joel went off the guy's back, and then Rodriguez catches it for an out. That was kind of fun to watch. That poor pitcher gets drilled, and then Mauer still can't get a hit. But yeah, he doesn't have the most speed in the world either. That doesn't help him. He looks kind of, no offense to Jim Tomey, but Mauer is not. To me, he doesn't look that quick.
No. Hey, what's your thoughts on the Twins this year?
Well, Mauer's, he's the 5th leading hitter in the American League, and people, of course, are keeping an eye on him because of his big contract, thinking he should be producing more. But when you're hitting 5th in the American League, I think that's worth the money. And if his stats right now you consider a slump, well, then look out when he really gets going. This has really rejuvenated and revived baseball with this new stadium. That's all I hear people talking about that have gone to games or have been to games. And every time you hear that attendance, it's, 39,000 something it holds?
Yep,
I mean,
yeah.
it's that all the time. People are there. People are talking about going up there. It's tremendous.
Thanks to Hafe and Ted for another week's edition of the Sports Scoop, and thanks to Steve, Andy Anderson, and Maceo for producing our show once again.
And-
See you next week.